Hi everyone, it's Jill Ansett here, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia. How is everybody? It's quite a lovely day here and I'm running a little bit later than normal, so I hope I haven't forgotten anything else. I did forget one thing, but I've fixed that. Now I want to show you this beautiful paper. Now it is on the clearance rack and it is called what is it called? It is called Ready to Ride. Now I think that's the one thing. Another thing I forgot. I think it's $10 something now, so it's about half price. Look at these beautiful foils. I hope you can see that in the light. One side is just a matte and the other side are these beautiful, beautiful foils. So yeah, we're going to be using this. This is on the clearance rack. Get it while it's cheap, or use whatever paper you have. Now we're going to make what is called a tiered accordion fold card. Now the reason I use this is A, it's on the clearance rack so that you can get that at a reduced rate. And B, I've hardly used it. Isn't that a shame? That is a crime. Anyway, I'm going to show you how we made this. It stands up, it folds flat to go into the envelope. Now, you may have to put 2 stamps. I think in Australia it is 1/2 millimetre for a standard stamp. Now if I hold that closed, yeah, you may get that in, but it'd have to be really, really squashed in. So probably to be safe than sorry is to 2 stamps or hand it to the person. But yeah, like I don't seem to make enough blokey bloke cards, and I just saw this somewhere and I thought, you know what, I'm giving that a go. I always like to have a go at things. Okay, so that is the paper we're using. Now look, you see this little panel here? That is this map. And I've actually just cut it out and then cut it in half. So I will actually be able to use that for 2 cards. This is stamped. This one is die cut, and there is one bike on this sheet of paper that you can die cut. It's this one here with that light on the back of it. But the stamp set, the dies match these 2 bikes. That's the same bike. Now I could have stamped that just black on very vanilla and then die cut that out, but I thought, you know what, I'm in a hurry, let's just do that. The other one that I'm going to make, I actually fussy cut. I fussy cut another bike out of this paper. So without going any further, let's get into it. So you will need, I've cut it all up, okay? You will need your trimmer, and at the very least a trimmer and something to score with. Now if you'd like the project sheet, please email me here, tilly2145@gmail.com. request the legendary ride. You don't have to put all of that, just put legendary ride. I'll know what it is. I will have added that by the time you get it, the bits that I forgot, okay? I promise. Okay, so I've got all the bits and pieces already cut out. Now we'll just have a look at this for a second. It's a flat piece of basic black as the card base, and then we have 3 additional pieces of cardstock, and they've been cut and scored and added on with some additional pieces of DSP. So everything you need to know is here, but I'm going to show you how to put this together. So this is in conjunction with this video, okay? Very important, because this, when you get it, will not make any sense. I didn't have time to sit down and write all the intricate steps. So, yep, video tutorial with a measurements project sheet. Okay, right. Now, let's have a look here. I'll go through the measurements with you. So here's our basic card stock. This is our basic card. Now, it's just one piece. It's not folded. It's just one piece. And it's 14.8 by 10.5. Okay, that's that piece there. Then we have two very vanilla pieces. One is 10.5 by 7.2. That is the panel that goes on the back. And the other is this panel here. And it is 9 centimeters by 4.5. Okay, that's those two. Let's call those the card base, okay? Now, you also need a piece of pumpkin pie, or your choice of, okay? Now, this one is scored. I've scored 2 of them. I will score one of them here on screen because they're all scored the same. Now, they're all 16 centimeters this way, but they are different depths, okay? So this piece of pumpkin pie is 16 centimeters by 10 centimeters. Then we have a piece of basic grey, and it is 16 centimeters by 7.5 centimeters. And our last little piece on the front is this piece of basic black, and it is 16 centimeters by 5 centimeters. We have one piece of the DSP is a different dimension to the other 3. So this one is 10 centimeters by 6.5, 10 centimeters by 6.5, and then we have 3 that are 9.5 by 4.5. Okay, so we're going to be using these 4 pieces. I have fussy cut. Sit down, have a minute at that news. I fussy cut this. Yes, I did. Here is the other half of our little map, and there are a couple of scraps that were left that we're going to use on our sentiment piece on the back. Okay, so let's get going. Let's get started here. So I want to score all of these at the same. So even though they're different dimensions in width, they're all 16 centimeters and they will all be scored exactly the same. So we're going to pop this in here, cutting blade out of the way. So we're going to line this up against the top there at 1 centimeter. So 1 centimeter, score, move that across to 2 centimeters. This will be on that list. Across to 3. As I said, I'm running a bit late and I've still got to cook dinner before I go to trivia. So, yeah. Rewind if you missed something. Sorry if I'm in a bit of a hurry. This goes then across to 13 centimeters, right over here, 13 centimeters. And we're going to score. Then 14 centimeters and score. And then 15 centimeters and score. So we've got all of these pieces scored and ready to go. So the first thing I did was to assemble this card base. So we need our largest piece, and that was the piece that is 10 centimetres by 6.5. Now, choose coordinating paper. We're going to just pop that up the top third of this card. Okay, so popping it up there, I'm just going to use this. This is my old Stamp and Seal. So that's going on there. Now, nice little border all the way around. Okay, so put the same border. It should be about 2.5 millimetres. And there we are. Now, I'm going to stamp on these two, and that's going to be the only stamping we're going to do. I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black. And on this small one, I'm putting Classic Authentic You Since Forever. You can swap them around, whatever you like to do, okay? But this is what I chose to do. So give that a nice good ink. Just bear with me if my head gets in the way. And we're just going to pop that somewhere in the centre of this. Now we are going to do a bit of treatment to these pieces as well. Beautiful. And on the second one, right on, it's your birthday. And that's going up in this top third of this piece here. Now I hope that's straight because I literally cannot see. There's glare from the lights and I'm not over it. Turn it over if it's no good. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Right, now, this is what I decided to do with these two. I got a dauber. Let's put that out of the way. Let's just preempt any mistakes. So I have a dauber. I'm going to open up my crumb cake, my very well used and loved crumb cake. And I'm just going to, what we call distress this, just around the edges with the dauber. It's just going to tie this in with the rest of the card design, okay? And look, the kind of the messier, the better, okay? This one I'm not going to do quite yet. I want to distress the edges of this. Now, if you don't know what distressing is, just take your scissors, be very careful. These blades are sharp. Don't think they're not. I have cut myself that many times on these blades, it's not funny. But taking the blade, I'm just going to distress the edge. And I'm just roughing it up. And the better, the rougher the better. So I'm just going along it like that. I'm just roughening that up. We don't have to do the bottom because that's going to go inside there. But what I also decided to do was to just give this a little bit of character and just kind of curl the corner a little bit. Now I'm going to take my dauber again and I'm just going to accentuate what we've just done. And then I discovered by mistake that these can look like fingerprints. So I just put one there like that. Because what guy is tidy and clean? And another one over there. Just like that. Yeah, there you go. So now this one is going to go on the top there. There is a small border because I wanted to showcase that beautiful paper. Now don't glue your corner down, okay? We just distressed that up So don't glue that down. I'm using the liquid glue here. And you want that to be up in the top section of this piece. So there we go. We've got our distressed thing. Yep, and on the back I'm going to put our little piece of scrap that was over. I'm going to put a tiny little bit of glue along this, and then I'm going to trim it off. Now remember, less glue is best. So I'm just going to do that across the bottom and then trim that off if I can get it to stay stuck. Yeah, so I had a bit of a big day today. I normally come straight home on a Wednesday and get stuck into these videos, but old mate Stan, who's like 88, decided that he'd like to have lunch with me today after bingo, and who can say no to a lovely 88-year-old. So there, that's that. Now I'm going to pop that on the back of this piece. Bit of liquid glue, and center that up, and that is the card. You've got a bit of space to write on there. Now if you need more space than that, maybe move your sentiment up, dispense with this piece here, or you could even make a little mini card and have that open up on the back of the card. That is not on the measurements, okay, because I only just thought of it. Okay, so that's our card base done. Right, we can get rid of this for the minute. Oh, no, while we've got all of this, I'll show you how I treated our little map. So this was that little piece, and I've cut it in half. I trimmed the border off it and I've cut it in half. So what I've done is I've distressed this as well. And then I've crinkled it. I've crinkled it up, and then I've put the dauber on it. Now, I put this on the back, but you could, of course, put this on the front of your piece. So we'll do it on the front this time, and I'm going to move that orange piece, that pumpkin pie piece, a bit as well. So then I scrunched it up just like that, opened it back out very carefully because we've just basically distressed that up, and then I've taken my dauber and I've just very lightly gone around the edges. I think it looks really great. Looks like it's just come out of your back pocket and it was all screwed up in there. And then I've run it over the surface of the paper, and it accentuates the creases. Just accentuates the creases a bit. So there we go. How cool is that? So we can pop that away as well. And now we're going to put these bits and pieces together. So we have our bike, we have our little panels here, we have our scored pieces, and this is what we're going to do next. Okay, now I found it a bit tricky to put this on after I'd folded and creased all of these. So get your act together, because I meant to put the pumpkin pie piece in the middle and I forgot. So this time I'm actually going to do it. So I want that one there, I want that one there, and I want that one there. Okay, so it's best to put these on before you start putting this together. Now whether you crease them or not is up to you, but I found it a bit tricky to glue these on when they were all folded up because they wanted to spring open, funnily enough. So I'm just putting some of this stamp and seal. Oh gosh, I can never remember the name when I need to. I mean, if you asked me yesterday, I probably could have spouted that off. Now look, this is the same border on all three sides. Okay, so there's my score lines. You probably can't see them, but I can see them. So that one's on there. This piece is going on next. And I'm putting it between those two scores. Okay, so it's going into the center panel. And it very nearly didn't because I just dropped it. But yeah, there's about 2.5 millimeter border on all of them. So you can see where this is going now. Okay, and this is the last piece. And then we can, it's quite quick to make. Once you've cut all this out and you've done all your scoring, then yes, it is quite quick to put together. And not as complicated as you would think. Okay, so now I'm going to take my bone folder and give all of these a really good crease. So they go like an accordion, like a fan. So this piece goes out, in, out, mountain, valley, mountain, mountain, valley, mountain. Okay, so that's what they look like from above. I'm going to give that all a nice big crease from all sides. Now you can fast forward this bit if you like, because I'm going to do exactly the same thing on all three pieces. Just giving them a nice, good burnish. And as I said, you may want to check the postage. Just for a standard stamp in Australia, this may be just a bit too thick. So if in doubt, stick 2 on them or take it to the post office and ask them. Okay, so we're in business now. Now, I choose to use liquid glue because you've got a little bit of wiggle time. Now, I want to point something out to you here. These pieces are have a border around here. This piece is the same width as these pieces folded. So if I place that on there, you can see that it looks cohesive. Now, you would think that you would want to put a nice little border on the bottom, but we don't. We want to put this all the way to the base here, all the way to the base, but maintain your bit of a border on either side, okay? Because that's what makes this card stand up. So, and I did one side at a time because you know what's going to happen. So, a little bit of glue. Now, don't go crazy with the glue, folks, okay? Just put a little bit. Now, sometimes less is more. This is very good, strong glue. And, of course, after they've opened it, they're not going to be, it's not an interactive card. So, now what I did was I kind of lined it up down here, and then I lined it up with that designer series paper. Okay, so I've got that in place there, and I'm just holding that down. Now again, you might want to fast forward this. Now, the reason I do all of the steps without fast forwarding them, number one, I don't know how to do it. And number two, there are people that don't know the basics of card making. Okay, some of us have been making cards for a long time and we can anticipate what the next step is going to be, but not everybody can do that, okay? So that's why I like to go slowly. Sometimes I repeat myself and show you again and again, but there's a reason for that. So now that piece is actually glued. I've pulled this out. I've got this piece, the last single flap, and I'm just popping the glue on there. I just found it a bit tricky to balance all of this whilst trying to line it up. So again, we're going to make sure it goes to the bottom of the card and that it lines up pretty much with that designer series paper there. So your liquid glue is really good because you can wriggle it around a little bit. Okay, so we'll give that a second to adhere. Now you can see that already is able to stand up. Now I've got the ceiling fan on because it's a bit warm. So yeah, it's going to wobble because of the ceiling fan. But we're going to have 2 more layers on that. So that's our first piece. Okay, now this piece here, on the original, I glued it to the back. Now you might like the look of that. It hides the fact that it's only very small. Now is the time to do that. Glue that onto there like that, or glue it onto there like that. Okay, I actually like it from the back because it hides the fact that it's only a small piece. So what I did was I just put a little bit of glue along here, just the bottom edge. And tucked it in this first little crease. Just tucked the very edge into that first little crease. And I've put it at a bit of an angle. Just make sure that closes around it. And give that a second to take hold. Always have a cloth handy. So there's our map. Now this is going, oh no, I put it on the wrong one. Oh, that's because I'm in a hurry. It should have gone on this one. Right, take 2, glue this, put some glue back on this. I told you I'm in a hurry. And the hurrier I go, the behinder I get. Okay, right, this piece. Remember, I'm tucking it into that first crease, and I'm going at an angle. Yep. Now, that didn't make any difference whatsoever to this piece, but it has made a bit of a difference to this piece because now that's sticky. I'm going to show you a couple of things you can do. You can use an ordinary eraser. You can use an adhesive eraser, or you can just use your embossing buddy powder. So normally I would just use my ordinary eraser. I find that just as well as everything else. Now it's taken off the paper, but it hasn't taken much of the sticky off. So I can try this one, but because there's paper in the way, you see how this one works? It actually glues onto the paper, like it glues onto the glue itself. Okay, now, if in doubt, embossing buddy. So whatever residual glue is on there, I'm putting this powder onto it, and that should take away the stickiness. No stickiness, okay? There you go. what was a mistake has become a handy hint. Now, if you're worried about seeing that from the top, turn it over, as long as your paper's directional. And that's what we will do. So this is where I've glued the motorbike, but this one was the die cut one. This one was the fussy cutting one. So you can choose which way you want to glue that. So a bit of glue on him, just on the bottom, just down near the wheels and across the base of it. And straight on to him, but have him hanging over, because we want a bit of interest to this card. So there, he's on there now. Okay, now this one should be dry enough to pop that on there. Now what we want to do is we want to line that up at the bottom here, and of course down the sides. So again, I'm just doing one side at a time. So that very first flap that is designed to go underneath, that's where the glue goes. And we need to line it up with the edge of this and the base here. So it's a little bit easier this time because we've already got one down. So with the glue, as I said, with the glue, you can get that lined up really easily because it gives you that little bit of wiggle room, and it's starting to take shape. Now I'm just going to hold that down for a minute just to make sure that connects, and then I'm going to do the other one. Now I've pulled it right out, and it's that last panel. Just a little bit of glue. And that should theoretically line up, but you know, if it doesn't, you've got that bit of wiggle room. Okay. Give that a second. And you'll see that now this really does stand up. So our last little panel here, bit of glue on here, on this last panel. It's the same panel each time that you're putting the glue. And that's going along the edge and across the base. It's lining up. And this one is just about done. Now I didn't look at the time, so I don't know how long that took, but I'm just holding that down, and then I'm going to put some glue on this one here. And there we go. Now that fits into a standard envelope. Oh, I probably should have got one to show you. Just give me a second. Just give me a second while that's just drying, and I shall get one for you. Dear oh dear. Okay. So here's a standard envelope. You can see that it will fit in there. Now if I put that in there, you will then see how thick that is. So I would suggest, to be on the safe side, maybe, although I don't know, look, if in doubt, get the post office to check, but if that's over 5 millimeters, it's not over by much, okay? But anyway, that's just one of my envelopes that I have. So here's the two cards together. This one is die cut from the actual designer series paper. This one was fussy cut. You could stamp the bikes and then die cut them. You've got 2 bikes there that you can stamp. The dies will fit them. You've got several different messages. There's also an embossing folder that originally came with it. That's that beautiful, I don't know what they called that, metal plate or something like that. I just keep everything in here. And you can also build a bike. I haven't done that yet, so yeah, better hurry up. But there you go. It's called the, what did I call it? The tiered, where's my piece of paper? The Legendary Ride Tiered Accordion Fold Card Measurements. So if you'd like this measurement sheet, email me, tilly2145@gmail.com, and request the Legendary Ride project sheet or whatever. It will have all the measurements on it. There's our beautiful cards. I'll stand them up and you can decide what you think. This paper, there's quite a few papers in the catalogue and in the new catalogue that are for blokey blokes, dare I say. So if riding a bike is not their jam, then yep, you'll find something there. Go and check on my social media, my Facebook page, etc., to keep up with news and things like that. This is the October host code that finishes on the 31st. If you place an order $250 or less than $250, please use that. But by all means, like, subscribe and share this video. And I don't care how many people request this sheet, but do know that this is the Australian sizes for this card. I think if you were to put in tiered accordion fold into Pinterest, you probably would find a plethora of US sizes. But thank you so much for giving me your time, and I'm going to go off and start our dinner before I go out. So I'll see you all later. Thank you. Bye.